hell of a journey with me.
Yeah.
You know, there's people's feelings involved.
Right. Right.
You know, it's healing that needs to happen.
Yes, absolutely. So what happened, Jada?
Okay.
All right, so what's going on here? What's going on here? So basically, Jada is embarrassing him, putting him in the trash can, belittling him, treating him like shit.
I think it was about 4 years ago. Started a friendship with August. And we actually became really, really good friends. And it all started with him just needing some help. You know, me wanting to help his health, his mental state. And we found all those different.
Right, so this gets only worse and worse, and you know what's gonna happen. It's very awkward, it's terrible, and it's a shame, it's a disgrace, and that's what this, I don't know what to call her, she's not worthy of the name woman, but that's what she's doing with him. And you think that after everything she's done to him, and then on top of that embarrassing him in front of the world, you think that he would like to protect her and slap somebody else for her? She's trash. She's the worst of the worst. There is no reason why anyone would do what he did in the Oscars. He should have thrown her to the curb a long time ago, to the streets. It's just a shame and a disgrace.
Will Smith wins, like, please.
Now here's the part where Will Smith is going to slap Chris. Okay, now it's hard to make a joke on Jada because everything is going to turn out to be true. You can't call her a slut or a hoe because that's basically gonna be true. So for that reason, it's not gonna be tasteful, let's say. All right, so they had to come up with something because this was planned. So he mentioned the G.I. Jane since Jada is bald now. And I'll tell you later why they had to stage this, but now we're just looking at how this happened and why, another reason why it's fake.
Lord! Jada, I love you. G.I. Jane 2, can't wait to see it. All right? that was a nice one. Okay.
All right, so everything is planned the way he says it. That was a nice one. Basically, making people engage in the joke and make people think that, all right, this is worth a slap. They are hyping up their own joke.
I'm out here. Uh-oh, Richard.
Bear in mind that this was not a joke. This was not funny at all.
Oh, wow.
Now, let's play again the slap and hear how it sounds.
Wow.
Also, you can see that Chris is having his hands behind his back. He's not moving, he's not flinching, he's not dodging, he's not avoiding. His reflexes are not functioning. Why? Because he was told, it was planned for him to stay there and expect a slap. That's exactly what happened. There's a reason why he is involved there, and one of those is that he has a tour coming up starting, guess when? The week after this slap. Basically, people now find out that he has a show, a tour coming up, stand-up tour. So, since the slap, in one day he sold more than he had sold in 1 month previous to the slap.
Will Smith just smacked the shit out of me.
Of course, he did not smack the shit out of him, but that's part of the news. Now, another thing, nobody knew the Oscars was gonna happen. Why? Because nobody cares about the Oscars anymore. It's a no news. It's a no news. Nobody cares about it. So what they did, basically, they wanted to hype up the Oscars, even if it already had happened, because people are gonna talk about it. All right. So people say that that's a crazy idea. Well, Just look at the internet. It's everywhere, all over the place. And I can't believe no one is talking about it. And that's why I'm talking about it. This was staged.
Get my name out your fucking mouth!
All right, so now he's acting protecting, acting as he's protecting and he gives a shit. But it's just part of the act. People look at him and say, look, he looks serious. Well, he's an actor. Actors in Hollywood putting up an act. Surprise, surprise.
Wow, dude.
Yes.
It was a G.I. Jane jump.
Keep my wife's name out your fucking mouth.
There you go. People are talking about him being a pussy, acting like a bitch, like that. Basically, it's all true. But the fact is that he had to play the role, and it's part of the sacrifice that he's doing in order for him to be in the headlines again. All right, now why is this happening, do you think? This is happening exactly because of the video where he had a talk with his bitch of a wife. He was embarrassed in front of the whole world, and in Psychology 101 you would find out, very basic concept, even kids know this, that if you have a scandal, just create a bigger scandal of less importance but of bigger scale to basically take the light away from the other scandal. And that's what this scandal is happening, because in one day way more people found out about the slap than people knew about the scandal between him and his wife. But this thing is backfiring because people are now talking more about him and his wife. Nevertheless, they are getting a lot of hype. Hollywood is happy. The Oscars are happy. Chris Rock is happy. Everybody knows and talking shit about Will Smith for smacking a smaller guy. So Chris Rock gets no shame on it. Everybody's falling for this scam, this staged act. All right, so here he's acting all defensive and all protective.
I'm going to, okay?
And it's part of the plan, and we're gonna go through it in a minute.
Okay. Okay. That was a greatest night in the history of television.
All right, so you see here, he's not shaking at all. He took it very, very well because it was planned. If it really had happened, the reactions would have been much more different than this. Everybody was in it, at least people in the working in there. Maybe not the audience, but people working in there were in it. All right, now let's have a look at another video.
Richard Williams.
So here's a video where Will Smith is accepting the award, and he's saying basically
Was a fierce defender of his family.
he's saying that the role he was portraying, the character he was portraying in his latest movie, was a defender of his family. Doesn't that sound familiar? As if wait a minute, he was just playing the role of the guy in the movie. He kept playing that role, kept keeping the narrative going, having a reason for the slap. So people will not think about the shameful scandal he had with his wife. People will follow the speech that he has, which is, well, I'm defending my family. The guy in the movie I portrayed, he defended his family. We should defend the family. I just did that. Everyone should do that. But he didn't defend his family when his wife was being handled by a kid. He didn't care about it, and she embarrassed him in front of the world. Why would he make a fool of himself right now for his wife, who made a fool of him? Makes no sense.
Making this film, I got to protect Ingenue Ellis. I got to protect Sanaya and Demi, the two actresses that played Venus and Serena.
All right, so he's talking about protecting. I'm protecting. I got to protect. He was protecting. The main character was protecting. And now I protected my wife. And behind, what do we see? We see the pyramids. We see the pyramids in its all symbology. I don't want to talk about it because you all know, but this is also part of it. He's sacrificing, he's playing a role in an act, some type of a ritual of that organization, let's say. If you are in the know, then you might guess what organization that is, but it's just all part of it. It's not a coincidence, all right? A lot of people are laughing and say you are now reaching the line, but the truth is that this is obvious. He's crying, he's an actor, that's what they do.
I know to do what we do, you got to be able to take abuse. You got to be able to have people talk crazy about you.
All right, you gotta be able to take abuse by your wife, is what he's saying, and people talking crazy about you. Well, everyone in the world who saw him being embarrassed by his wife was talking bad about him. All right, so he's talking about it as an excuse on how he is defending himself. So he's in front of actors who are being in the spotlight, so everybody kind of can relate to what he's saying, but his situation is even more peculiar than the rest of the people, because he's been on the spotlight recently for all the disrespect that he's let upon himself by his wife and by himself. So the whole world was dumbfounded by how Will let his wife disrespect him, right? And you think that he will care about her now? Come on, people are so stupid talking about their relation. Yes, it's true, misfunctional relation, she's a hoe, he's an idiot, a loser, yes, but that's not what's going on in this evening. What's going on in this evening, he's not doing it for her. It's part of a plan, it's staged.
In this business, you got to be able to have people disrespecting you. And you got to smile and you got to pretend like that's okay.
All right, you gotta smile and pretend like that's okay. Well, don't let them disrespect you. Don't let your wife disrespect you, and don't disrespect yourself when you should have thrown her to the curb. All right, so let me summarize this situation from the Oscars. The Oscars is full of triangles, not just triangles. That is symbology, that is pyramids. If you know what that symbolizes, then that makes it easier for me. Number 2, Chris Rock has an act. He's been irrelevant. He has a tour now, a comedy tour, and now he's basically being hyped and relevant. The Oscars has been irrelevant. Nobody gives a shit about the Oscars for many years now, and now people found out about the Oscars, that it happened. Will Smith had a situation with his wife, his skank of a wife, and now he tried to cover that scandal by creating a bigger scandal. That's psychology. Basic psychology, and he wanted to redeem himself. Plus, that's also a ritual by the organization that starts with an M, and it's all about pyramids and symbology. All right, he's part of it, and basically he had to do his deed. He's part of a sacrifice. He's sacrificing himself, his reputation. He's making a fool of himself. He's aware of it. His wife, who's maybe a handler for him, knows about it as well. All right, so it's just a show. Nobody understands what's happening, and it blows my mind because there's people who I expected would talk about it. They're not talking about it. So this is really what happened in the show. I hope you guys realize it and understand that he didn't get mad. He didn't do that for real. It's all for show. Thanks, and visit us, like, subscribe, and follow for more.